All right, everyone. Forgive me for being a few minutes tardy, but I just wanted to make sure that we were ready to go. And so I'm welcoming you. I'm Dr. Brinetta. This is our wellness connection. Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna have a wonderful time together. I'm gonna get off my Facebook page on my computer. There we go, and hopefully find myself on my page. Very good. There we go. All right. So these technical things, it's so funny how different this is when I'm here by myself. For those of you that know me, I'm Dr. Brinetta, and my husband and I, we do a wonderful show on Monday nights called Let's Talk, and it feels so different when I don't have him next to me. But we are here to talk about wellness, right? Amen. So we're going to talk about wellness tonight, and hopefully we're going to have a few laughs. I want to just kind of keep it light because that's what this is all about. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight we're talking about what I want to call the wellness continuum. And here's the question I want you to answer. How do you measure wellness? We have different measuring devices. We have, tape measures, we have scales, we have um, grading rubrics. As a teacher, I use all sorts of things to measure things. So I'm wondering, what are your thoughts? How do you measure wellness? Um, and why is that important? Wow. It's important because until we can identify where we are, we can't accurately determine how to get to where we want to go. And hopefully everyone can hear me. Can everybody hear me? Yes, okay. So, how would you measure that? When if you've ever broken down like on the highway or something or gotten lost and you had to call AAA, you got your tire or you locked yourself out of your car. What's the first question AAA is going to ask you? They're going to say, "Where are you?" Right? So it's very important that we know where we are. So something happened this week for me. I am a chiropractic kid, and so I have a wonderful doctor a chiropractor. How many of you, anybody in here, anybody else in here has a chiropractor? I have a wonderful chiropractor, and my chiropractor, oh my goodness, she has all these wonderful information posters and all sorts of stuff, right? I'm going to share one with you. I happened to be there this week, and she has on her wall this a wonderful poster. I took a screenshot. I got so excited. I had to, I said, can I get a shot of that? And as you can see here, it talks about three types of care. And what this is what we would call a wellness continuum. And so if you look, there's the intensive care, that initial intensive care. And for her, of course, as a chiropractor, this is when people get injured. You've been in a car accident and you are in a lot of pain, a lot of distress. And so you really need some to be seen, like you need some relief. And that's the intensive care stage. And so someone who's in that stage, they're coming, it's very regular. They're coming, twice a week, depending on the injury, and they're working to manage these things. And I hope you can see this here. There's obvious symptoms. There's joint instability and on the nervous system dysfunction. I mean, she's really laid this out, and you can see that there's this section over here where there's some real need going on. Then there's the next column that talks about corrective care. And in this
Mhm.
case, you may not be in a traumatic scenario. Like I remember the first time I visited a chiropractor, I'd been hit from behind in a car accident, and I was in tremendous pain. I mean, my neck, my back, my body was saying, help, help, help. So that's here. That's this intensive care state. But then there's the corrective state where you feel some relief and you can feel some improvement, but you know that you are still um, kind of weak and you haven't gotten to that really good place. You're still having some complaints. Your function is still limited. You know that you still need to build some muscle, that kind of thing. This corrective thing. You have this particular problem that you just want to work on. You are not, incapacitated and can't go to work, barely walk. You're going to work and doing what you need to do, but you have some things to fix. And then there's this part over here, and I'm just gravitating to this. It's the effective or wellness care, and of course that word caught my attention, right? And this is the place where you are at your maximum capacity. You know you're doing well. You feel strong. You feel good. You know that your body is where you need to go, where you want it to go. So it's doing what you want to do. You're sleeping well, you're eating well, you're mobile, you can pick up when you want to pick up. You can, it's not like when when you're in trouble, when you drop that sock on the floor and you say, "Oh Lord." That poor sock, don't let him slide under the bed. He's never gonna be found again, right? So, my question tonight is, if you were going to put yourself somewhere on this continuum, would you say you are in an intensive care state in terms of your health and wellness? You've got some real problems, you've got some real pain in your body, you've got some real issues going on that you are severely limited to what you can do in your body. Would you say more that you're in a corrective care state where you're functioning, but there's a couple of things that I really need to address? Or would you say I'm at this wellness place. I'm at the you know good place where my body's doing pretty much what I wanted to do, and I just need to do maintenance. I want you to stop and think about that. And if you feel comfortable opening your camera, maybe you can put up, I do this with my students. I say, okay, you get to give me the finger. And I talk about thumbs up, thumbs side, thumbs down. So if you were going to just say, no way, I'm in pain, I'm struggling, my body and I are not friends, thumb side, you might say, okay, well, I got a couple of issues. I'm making it, but I got a couple of issues. Or thumbs up, you know, I am, I'm doing really good. I'm just trying to build on what I got. Where are you tonight? Kind of own your thought. Where am I? Anybody want to share where you are tonight? Anybody feel brave? Not really? Okay. It's okay. I think it's important that you identify, that you think about, I think these three categories. Do I hear somebody who's willing to share?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say I'm kind of at now uh, maintenance and prevention, thanks to you.
Right?
I mean, you're the one that came over the house and took all the lays out, and you did the closet,
Mom.
the cupboards, and the refrigerators and stuff a few years ago. So, but it's been a beautiful journey at almost 60 pounds lighter.
Woo! Ow! 60 pounds lighter and went through surgery and didn't have a lot of, trouble with recovery. Look at some of these words here. Over here, good. Thank you, Mom, for sharing. That's my godmother, you guys. So, in this intensive care state, you got some obvious symptoms going on in your body. There's some things that are really hurting, really challenging, and they are interfering with your day to day life. All right. In between there, you might be feeling some relief as you do what you need to do. Then you're kind of feeling a little bit better. In the corrective care stage, your symptoms, those really severe symptoms, they're gone. You're going to work, you're doing what you need to do, you're starting to feel better. You can tell that you're improving in your function, your soft tissue is working. You see these words. This is all about your body, because remember, wellness that we're talking about together, even though this is going to impact your emotions, we're going to talk about that. This is going to impact your thinking capacity. We're going to talk about that. This is going to impact your will and your energy levels. But all of those things are connected to this body, and it's a way for us to consider, where am I right now? So here in this corrective state, you're addressing symptoms, specific symptoms. I think it was Arlene and I were having a conversation. She says, you know what? I just know I'm not sleeping well. I am not sleeping the way I need to sleep. And I've got to do something to address that. And so maybe you say, I'm in this corrective care stage. Okay. And then the next part is you've managed those major concerns, and now you're really doing well. I like this right here where it says pre-complaint status. You're in a body that really feels good, does what you want it to do. Why do we talk about wellness? Because we want a body that feels good and does what we need it to do. Does that sound right? Some of us, we are fighting with our bodies every day. We are just, it's a fight. You want to go left, your body says, no, I ain't doing that. You want to stand up, your body say, no, we ain't doing that. You want to go to sleep, your body say, no, 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 no. So some of us, this is the problem. We are living in a body and we are not on the same page. But as we go on this journey, our goal is to become more aware of these things, and not just aware of what the problem is, but to begin to do the work, realize what it will take to move to the next level of wellness. Any questions about that? I'm glad I have people on. Any questions? Just shake your head or nod your head, or just go ahead and unmute if you like. Anyone? Comments? All right. So with that, then, now that you've owned a place where you are, because if you know that you're in that intensive care state, then you get it. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and be in the, maintenance and prevention, right? It's going to be, as my BJ says, a journey. But you can begin to set some goals to where you're going to go. And of course, having that goal in mind, I want to sleep well. I want to move well. I want to be pain free. And why don't you take a moment right now? You could write down, if you were going to write down one statement that describes what you want to see in your body, what would that be? What would you say? So write it down. Come on, let's own our thought. What would you say? So I'm going to be honest, for me personally, right now, I am in a wonderful place of health. I mean, I feel good. I've been doing weight training now for a little over 6 months, and I am feeling good in my body. I feel my good energy. I'm sleeping good. And so I feel like I'm really over here and I'm enjoying this optimum health. I'm working now on the whole maintenance piece and learning to maintain those habits that will keep me in a good place. Not with the headaches all the time, and not with the backaches all the time, and not with that low energy level. So I thought this was a wonderful way. Now, just for fun, I'm gonna scroll up here and show you this bottom, because I looked at this. I'm gonna shrink this down. This is a wonderful poster that actually shows how every part of the body is connected to the spine and where. And so those of you that are gonna join me, I'm happy to share this. This was on the wall, and I asked my doctor if I could take it. But we don't think about how our brain and our back alignment actually impacts everything about our body, just everything. And so I'm gonna open this, just make it just a little bigger. Just bear with me. I want to try to enlarge this if I can. There we go. But you can see how even your eyes are connected, your ears, your nose. Look at this. Your sinuses are impacted by your alignment. Your tonsils, okay, your wrists, your hands, even your esophagus. We have some people who have acid reflux. These things can be impacted by your spine. And this wonderful poster shows you the part of the spine that, manages these different parts of your body, the liver, your stomach, your spleen, the kidneys. Look at that, all the way down. Um, you have pain in your knees. Guess what? That's connected to a part in your spine. Isn't that something? So I've been learning these things for over, 15 years, I think 20 years, maybe more. I was in an accident. It was really something to learn about what the chiropractor could do for me. I'm going to stop sharing. And as a person who spent years at almost 400 pounds, my chiropractor let me know, you know what, your spine actually kind of fused down, and your movement was so limited. So she had to really work with my spine to get me all limber and loose. So with that being said, we have a way to go. We're on a journey. And I'm excited because I see some people here with me who are saying, I'm ready to take that journey. I'm ready to walk together. How many of you got your buddy? Remember, you got some homework? You got your buddy there? Yeah, there you go, Mama Barbara. Oh, yes, I like that, Pamela. You're going to be pain free. That's our goal. We want to be pain free. And so we're going to be talking about some of the foods that may even be on your plate that are creating pain in your body. Yes, my BJ, I see your hand.
I just pushed the wrong button.
All right. So with that then, and I wonder, oh, maybe I won't do it. I wanted to play an interesting video. Um I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna try this video one more time. Okay. Uh Arlene shared this with me. Can you guys hear anything?
Turn it up as much as you can. Turn it all the way up.
Salmon, ham, onions, and butter. Everything the doctor said you couldn't have. What have you got behind your
We
back?
can't hear it,
Come on,
sister.
hand it over.
Okay.
Pickle.
All right. Well, I'll share that with those of you that I can figure it out. I don't know what happened there. It's
And
a,
also,
it's
you want to post it in the Facebook feed at the end of the
Okay, I'll
lesson.
post it in the Facebook feed at the end. So last week, Arlene and I kind of chit chatted with you about the role that we've played in each other's life as wellness buddies. And this video, she found this and it was hilarious. That sometimes you have to kind of almost be. My husband sometimes calls me like the food Nazi, but it's like Mama BJ said, I did. I went over to her house and I looked in her cabinets and I found bags upon bags of Lay's potato chips. And then I looked in the refrigerator and I saw can after can of soda pop. And then I went around and I saw, cookies and candy. And I said, oh, Mom, listen, you're going to have to kind of slide these off your plate for a while. So, she got together with her other buddy and they said, we gonna eat these up before Dr. Brinetta gets back. Sometimes though, it's really helpful to have that person in your life that you trust enough to say, okay, you can't eat that. Or is this really a part of your goal? Is this really going to help you get to your goal? So today I definitely wanted to hear from the buddies. Who's got their buddy with them tonight? I know Mama Barbara has her buddy. Mom, tell us about your buddy. Uh-oh, she closed her camera. Uh,
Um, she's on the road coming back, and I told them they better have eaten right while they are up Big Sur. But we have each picked our one thing that we want to do um, starting September that would help us for the 21 days and everything. I want to be able to at least exercise the stuff that Tony gives, but do an extra day without Tony.
okay, one extra day of exercise.
Mhm.
All right, that's great. That's great. Who else has their buddy on tonight and you want to say something? Anybody? I see Francesca. Are you there, Francesca?
I'm me and my mom, me and my buddy.
All right, buddies. Yay. All right. And just know now, what did you pick for your goal, Francesca? What are you gonna do for your 21 days?
So for my 21 days, I just want to function regular. Because I hurt all the time. So I just want to not be in pain.
Okay, and so what's the one thing you're gonna do to decrease your pain? Have you identified something that you're going to either add to your plate, take off your plate, add to your daily activity that's going to help
I
with your pain?
activity is just exercise more.
Okay. Okay. So we could talk about we could do in our question and answer time and really talk specifically about what pain you're feeling and maybe one something you could do every day. Mom BJ mentioned Tony, who is our personal fitness trainer, and she's taught me one move that I try to do every day that has really made a difference. And it's the one thing you can do, you guys, every day, and she says, if you can do this, then you have the body of a 35-year-old. So it's like it's one of those things you just work on and work on until you can do it. So maybe we'll talk about that after we dismiss everyone off of the live feed. Anybody else want to talk about their buddy? What is mom? What why has her name gone out? Francesca, why has your mother's name? What mom? What is your it's
My
probably it's
my
because
name
I'm on live. It's because I'm on
you
live and I'm
you can
trying.
call, you can call me either Lillian or Antoinette. Which
And
one?
I was back and forth between the two. All right. So Mama Lillian, what is
Yes.
your goal? What is your 21-day choice?
Well, for me, I also want to be pain free, and I know I am a coffee drinker,
Mm.
and I know it is no good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that I have to get away from it.
Okay. So you're gonna aim for taking coffee off of your
Yes,
plate. And
I have
so what is your plan for that?
um
What are you gonna drink instead?
water,
All right. So you're gonna add that water.
water.
All right. That sounds like a great plan. And we can talk about maybe some other things to watch because pain in
Yes,
your body comes from a couple different places. So we'll look at that.
yes.
So we spoke last week, and of course, thank you guys for your feedback about being able to come together on this feed and just share thoughts. So, with the idea that you've identified a buddy and keep working, and if you don't have a buddy, remember we'll be your buddy every 2 weeks when we come on together. We will buddy up with you, and you can. We can poke at you and you can poke at us and we'll do it because we know what that means. And we identified one thing because it's really hard when you look at everything you know you should be doing to try to just change your entire life overnight. Trust me, that never works. I've tried it 100 times. We make that New Year's resolution. I'm just going to do it. But one thing, if you just get that one thing in mind, be as specific as possible. Anybody else want to share their one habit that they're putting on the calendar? Anyone else? So we've got a day of exercise that we're adding in the week. We've got some water that we're adding, some coffee that we're pulling out with some extra water that we're putting in. And Francesca, I'm going to show you a exercise soon that you can just do one little stretch, one great stretch to get that pain out of that body or to move closer to pain free. Those are the things that we want to do. And so for the next 2 weeks, you're going to chat with your buddy. And if you don't have a live buddy, I want to encourage you to get a journal and just write a note to yourself each day about the thing that you want to see happen. Arlene, you're my buddy. Tell me, kick in and tell me something that we need to say tonight. What's something we need to share?
Well, thank you for asking. So one of the things that we talked about that I think you forgot about is our mindset surrounding health and how it continues to grow. And you talked about a personal struggle that you had this week that popped up, and you're holding out all the good stuff.
See,
But
that's
that
why you
one
need a buddy, you guys, so they can tell you. So
we
you're
can remind
absolutely right.
you.
Thank you for that poke,
But
Lurleen.
do you want me to tell it, or do you want
I'm,
to tell
I'm happy to tell it because I owe my story. So you guys,
it?
sometimes I think you'll remember last time we met, I said to you that each night I would go home, I would go to bed, and I would just pray, Lord, let me wake up skinny. Let me just wake up skinny. And there's this image in your mind, and this is why we're talking about goals now. There's this image in my mind of what I wanted to look like when I got thin. Thin at that time was healthy for me. And of course, I've learned over the years that thin and healthy are not synonymous. All right. They are not the same thing. I have wonderful thin friends who they have no stamina. they're tired all the time, no strength. But I had a certain way that I wanted my body to look. And of course, I'm pretty darn close to my goal weight. And I'm looking at my body and there's just a couple things about it. I'm just like, oh no, I'm just like, I can't. I'm very upset. I want my body to look like this.
And,
So I call
and
Arlene.
let me interrupt really quickly.
Uh,
Okay. So the thing about it is because what ended up happening in your mind, you said, I'm doing quote unquote everything right. But there's this thing, I'm working out, we're doing the cleanse, right? So we're doing the cleanse, we're drinking water, I am doing everything correctly, but you were still looking at your body and you were go ahead.
so unhappy. Looking at my body and saying, wait a minute, I got a roll over here. I got another roll over here. I said, oh, I don't like this. That's it. I am calling Sonabella. I'm gonna let them freeze the set or whatever it is they do. I called Arlene. I said, that's it. I'm making an appointment. I'm going in. I was done, right? Because I said, I have done everything I'm supposed to do.
Oh my
I
God.
do not look the way I want to look. And of course, thank God for my loving buddy. And we've been buddies now for almost 20 years. And so I trust my buddy. I love my buddy. And she did her best. She was trying to be supportive. And then she says, but that's a really big thing to do.
No, I didn't say that.
No,
Let
you
me
did.
tell
You
you
said
how I
that's a
said it.
big step. That's a big
Oh,
step.
okay.
That's what you
But
told me.
what
That's what I
But
heard.
and what I will say is what I said also. So I did say that because I was very supportive, and I wanted to hear the reason why you wanted to get. And can I be frank and talk how we talk, sister?
Well, we are live on Facebook.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Well, not too crazy, but you were like, I just want to get this back out. I want to get it sucked out.
Yes, I want my this
Uh,
fat back here gone
Right.
and this
I want
tire gone.
And because you are working out, and you've been working out for how long now? How long has it been?
6 months, 7 months.
6 months. And you see the results in other areas of your body, but the area that you wanted to see it the most, you weren't seeing it. So you were like, you know what? You
That's
know,
it.
again, when we talk about continuum of care, we're like, okay, this is where I see it. This is where I know I want to go, but I'm not seeing it. And and so I was very supportive, and I listened. But then I said, sister, just like you said, it's a big step, and there's certain things you just don't want to do to your body, and surgery is not one of them, because surgery alters your body every single time. And this is from a person I've had how many surgeries? So many
Oh my
surgeries.
goodness, so many
I
surgeries.
so I and it's just because I
Required
right.
surgery had
It
to
was
happen.
required. So for me, I had so many surgeries. I'm like, do you really want to put your body through that? And I
In
said,
other
now,
words, is
go
is
ahead.
this and is this really a realistic goal?
Yes,
Is
absolutely.
what you're asking your body to do realistic? And we have many of us that we have, because we haven't really considered that care continuum, but just said, in my mind, I have an image in my mind of what I want to see. We haven't looked at our bodies and loved our bodies where they are and appreciated what our bodies do enough, or we need to add a little more value. So this was that moment. And I think every one of us has had a moment um, for, uh, I'm not the only one. Am I the only one?
Oh, not at all.
I feel like I'm the only one. Oh my goodness. And so I thank God for someone who was able to say to me, oh, good Lord. Oh man, she's been trying to get on. That I had someone to say to me, Brinetta, reconsider. Is that an appropriate goal for you? So this is how this care continuum conversation began. Because the truth is, there are some things that we have in our mind that we want our bodies to do, they may never do. But your goal can't just be about a way you want to look. It can't only be about a number on a scale. It can't be about the size of your clothes. Our continuum has to focus on, how well is my body functioning? How well am I feeling in my body? Okay. And so, with that, now you're able to better uh, decide on the decisions that you will make moving forward. You're able to do that. And so, thank God for Arlene, who said, "Girl, are you serious? Are you sure that this is the right response to how you're feeling?" And of course, it wasn't. We all have a moment. But what we do want to do is have the kind of goal that promotes wellness, okay? Not just something that's a quick fix. So if it's something like, yeah, go ahead, Arlene.
Oh, I was just agreeing completely. So like you already put it out there, I've been having problems sleeping, and of course, a part of that is because I'm doing this cleanse, and my body's getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff. But also, I haven't slept in 3 years since I've had Brock.
Which is what I remind you of, like, sweet pie, you have a 3-year-old.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. My quick fix is take some Unisom.
Yes,
Let's drug it up so I can get some sleep. But
yes,
that's not really the answer. I was talking
yes,
to my husband about the same thing, and I was just like, you know what? I got to get off these drugs. And when I say drugs, I'm talking about the Unisom.
yes,
But that's not where I want to be. So when we talk about corrective phase, that's a corrective phase in my life. It
right,
well, it was intensive actually because I wasn't sleeping. And so what are those steps that I'm going to take, those realistic goals, those realistic steps that I'm going to take? And it may include something as like chamomile, or it may include, you know, some some healing and sounds, like
and it's going to
ocean
take
waves
some
or
research. So everything is, you're going to grow and learn. If you're going to reach that space in the continuum where
right.
you are walking in wellness, you're going to be open to learn new things, new strategies, new habits, new options that you're going to embrace in your life, because there is no, and I have to say this often to people, there is no one right thing. There's not one thing that you're going to do that's just going to change everything. With not counting prayer, of course, but people want, well, what do I do? And they want this one thing. There's no one solution.
And sister, can I just say one more thing? Is
Sure.
because throughout these 18 plus years, we have, like we always say, we've done it all. We did the poke your finger for blood to see what kind of
Yes.
diet you should
Yes.
have. We did the cleanse that worked, initially. We did, this and we did that. But all along the way, we learned something new to help to add to that continuum of
Right.
wellness.
Right.
And so now some things didn't work and some things worked, but we kept trying. We kept digging in and saying, okay, well, what does the latest research say? Or even though the latest research says that, how am I responding to that research? You
Because
know,
everybody is different. And so it's important that you stay open. So, our goal in here, and of course, we've only talked about being a buddy, we've talked about the wellness continuum. I hope that's given you a perspective, a way to consider your wellness level today. We've talked about the buddy system and the value of having a buddy. Hopefully, you have one. If you don't, you're going to do two things. One, you're going to start a journal where you write something down every day about how you're feeling. One of the most powerful things I did that really helped me get connected with what I was eating and how I was feeling and what I was doing was literally writing it down every day. I have my journals for the time when I knew what I was going to eat 2 days, 3 days, 5 days before. And then you're gonna come and meet with me every second and fourth Thursday, and we're gonna talk. Not, I'm not here to be your personal physician. I'm here to be your coach. I want to coach you to another place. I've been very sick in my body, and over the years, I've learned little things that I would be honored to be able to share with you to see your health levels grow. All right, the next challenge I have. Are you ready for your next challenge? Everybody have your 21-day challenge? All right. So the next challenge is, we definitely, if you have not been to see your physician, we definitely want you to make plans to go. Go see your physician and get your body checked out. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, I just went. Did you do a physical? Because that's a different visit. Did you get some blood work? Because that's a different visit. And you can go in and let your doctor know, you know what? I want to start a wellness program and I want to get my numbers. Next time we come together, I want you to be ready to report on your buddy and how you're doing with your buddy. Report on your 21-day habit that you're changing. And also, we're going to talk about the four most important numbers in your body that you need to be aware of at all times. All right, I want to say thank you. Does anybody have any closing thoughts? I'm going to end our live stream, but you can, those of you that are in the Zoom, we can hang out and have some, do a little bit of question and answer. Anybody want to say anything before I end our live time together? Let me take a look at the chat and see who's with me. Oh my goodness. Dr. McCampbell, what? Hey, you. I can't wait to have you on the show in a couple of weeks. Blessings to you. Okay, Connie, bless you. Okay, so I sent the link on your phone. You'll join us in the Zoom next time. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Martine, I'm glad you were out there. Sorry I couldn't better man the chat on Facebook. I'm here all by myself this time. You are always welcome to join me here in the Zoom room. We will be back the next time we will meet the second Thursday in September, and that's It happens to be September 8th, Thursday, September 8th, and then we'll meet the fourth Thursday on the 22nd. So hopefully by then, you'll be ready to come back and join us. Those of you that are here in the Zoom, we're going to stay on for just a little bit longer, but I am going to end our time on live. Thanks for listening, you guys. Reach out to me with questions, and this video will be available next time.